Hey, good morning. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Professor Ken, and I'm here with Juan Carlos Castaneda, and we're here at the Shopper Direct office. So thanks so much for joining us. And Juan, thanks for giving us Juan Carlos, thanks for giving us some time this morning.
Good morning, Ken, and thank you for visiting us at our office. So we are very excited for this webinar, and we are ready to go.
All right, let's go. So let's pull up the presentation, and what I wanted to do really is sort of set the stage with some of the data that we see out into the marketplace, and then talk about the ecosystem that you have, and how do we tie everything together. So why don't we go ahead and show the presentation and talk through that a bit. So welcome to the engagement tips, and what I want to do is share a couple of tips with you, and we can go ahead and just move forward to the slide, the next slide. So what we're looking at today is the retail challenge that we have out into the marketplace. So we know some of the things that we know, for instance, are the rising marketing costs. I mean, thank goodness for what we're going to be talking about today, which is AI, which is helping us drive down those marketing costs already.
Correct.
But the cost of marketing out there, the need for real-time communication, that's really important. And the shoppers are now expecting that type of communication because on mobile and on digital, right? And that's what we're talking about today. And how can we engage with that customer? And for an independent grocer, as an example, it's really important today to compete and engage with that customer, to keep them coming into the store, to stay local, right?
That's true. The communication is key. How we can get connected with them, very important.
Very important. So let's look at some data that we pulled, and what I wanted to share with you. So right now, we know that shoppers, and this is a survey that was out there, 76% of shoppers in the marketplace really expect personalization. I know I do as a customer, as a shopper. I want something personalized for me, for Ken.
That's true.
And I expect to see that now, and that's really important. Also, we know that when a shopper goes back to the store with loyalty, with loyalty points, we know that there's more engagement and it's more tied together. So 84% of the shoppers remain with your business if they get loyalty points, which is a big number. So
it's a big number.
It's almost 9 out of 10 shoppers. So you have to be loyal to this. And then we also look at the fact that nowadays in today's environment, we look at data unification, and that's really key. How do we unify all this data so that we can offer up personalization, so we can do loyalty for our customers? And 34% of the shoppers will buy more if we have that data unification.
Okay.
So that's valuable in the process. So the big tips and the big takeaways are: you have to personalize. You have to have a loyalty program, and you have to be able to unify the data. And if you're an independent grocer, that's really important. And that's where the struggle can be, I guess, out in the marketplace right now.
And that's one. It's very important to unify the data.
Yeah.
But you have to have like you mentioned, the loyalty in order to collect the customer information, in order to see the behavior. So that's key for the data.
And that's why I'm happy that we're able to pull this together and do a quick webinar on this, because your system, your ecosystem allows some of this for the independent grocers, and at a relatively good entry cost. So let's talk about what Shopper Direct does and some of the things that you have. One interesting case study that you shared with me that I'm sharing here is you looked at an independent market here in the Florida market, and you looked at 23,000 shoppers over a 12-month period. And what you saw here, and there's a lot of numbers on this page, I'll just pay attention to that big number on the bottom, that $9.9 million. That is incremental revenue that your program helped generated for the independent grocers, which is phenomenal. If I can generate, yeah, that's pretty good, right? If I can generate another $10 million a year with my store, I'm pretty happy. And I think as you dig into the numbers, you see the open rates are better, because what you're doing is you're actually engaging the customer on their mobile device. So you have a 96% open rate there, and you see that those customers that are engaged also are using the loyalty points. So 66% of those customers are using loyalty points. So it's really a win-win-win type situation for what you're seeing out there. And the other big number that I look at is that $8. So $8 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the average order value increase.
Increase, correct.
Which is really important, because if you can keep that shopper in your store and get them to spend a little more, that's going to stop them from going to your competitors.
That's true. No, and it's amazing because when you see the shoppers going to the store, doing the sign up in the system, and then they like to come back for the loyalty program, you see like a 66% is a very important number.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And also the open rate, because they are waiting for promotions. Every week they see how is the market moving, what is the new products are in the supermarket, and also what are the promotions, the coupons, all the stuff. And based on that combination, like you see the AOV increase $8, so you can make package, so they're gonna go and see. And if they are the store, so they can increase in the...
And that's really valuable, because every dollar we generate to increase that value is important for us, because that's one less dollar we have in our store than in the competition,
right?
As an example. And it's become a very competitive marketplace out there, especially for the independent stores. So let's go into the system, and let's talk about some of the things that Shopper Direct does well. The one thing that I think, and coming from a former life of experience with this, is the one thing that I like what you guys do with you have a branded mobile app, but you send out digital weekly ads via text to the individual's phone. Sure. And now if I'm sitting at home, and let's say your ad comes out on a Thursday, if I'm sitting at home and I'm looking for an ad, instead of getting it in the mail, which has gone up, it's very expensive now to mail.
Very expensive.
To mail circulars out these days. But now I get it on the phone, and it's instantaneously. And that's where you're seeing that 96% open rate, which is pretty phenomenal. So now I know that Ken's grocery store has, limes on sale, 10 for $1, or beef on sale for $3.99 a pound. And I'm getting ready. I'm starting to get myself ready to shop. And you do that through SMS, you do that through MMS, and you're pushing out that notification. So you're really getting that personalized shopper engagement here.
That's the personalization. Like you can see, okay, based on your name, also how many points do you have, so you can be very connected with the store, and also the promotions, or especially in the different seasons. Christmas, or
the seasonal promotions. And I signed up to a couple of our local independents here in South Florida, and I get the ads, and I like them. I actually look at them and I see, now, because the truth is that the average shopper is going to maybe 3 stores to complete their basket.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we can keep them coming in, if I can get ahead of someone else's ad, that's really important. So that mobile loyalty program and that system is really good. And let's talk about how the shoppers sign up. And I think this is the best part of the system, is that it's very easy to sign up, right?
To sign up, very easy, correct.
So in this case, it's really 4 steps we broke it down to. If you're standing at the register, you could easily just put your phone number in, put your email in. And I've done this at the register, and I've seen this. And then you get the digital wallet, and now you have that digital wallet, which is unique to you, and then you could scan that at the register to get your loyalty points and the rewards that you have. And now you're in the program, and you're instantly involved. And now once I have that information, now as an independent, as a grocer, I can send you weekly text, and now you're part of that program. So I'm engaged with you, and this is what I like about this ecosystem that you developed, because now the first part of this ecosystem is that personalization, but now I'm getting that individual, and now I can send them a text message while they're sitting on their couch watching a novella or something like that, right?
And even though when they are at the store, they can receive the notification. It doesn't matter what kind of phone, like an iPhone or Android.
Right.
So that's good with the wallet, and they can see exactly how many points they have in order to redeem the points. So that's
important, because the loyalty points helps you stay engaged with a customer. Okay, so part of the ecosystem too, I think, is really phenomenal. Is the next part of this, which is your digital signage. So we talked about the tablet. There's a tablet at the register, and when I was in one of the local stores here, that tablet not only collected the data, but there was also messaging that went on the tablet. So you had and video messaging too. It wasn't static. There were videos of joining a loyalty program,
inviting shoppers.
And now with your digital signage, because you have in-store digital signage, you connect that system. So now I see that messaging not only at the register, but as I'm walking through the store, I see it on the digital signage too. And what's great about this digital signage, and there's a lot out there, but this is pretty unique because there's a very high definition 4K screen. And what I liked about this, which surprised me when I got into the store, it's actually two-sided. So you can see one on both sides, and you get the messaging on there. So and you're driving high resolution videos on that. So that sort of helps connect that messaging for the shopper.
Yeah, and the shopper love because they see they are at the store, maybe they are looking for one particular product, but when they see the display, they see like, oh, they have cafeteria, or they have additional products, or they have a special selection for wines. So that's very important to present to the shopper so they understand and they see what are the different services.
And I'll add one other thing to this one, Carlos. You could also, coming from the branded world, you can also maybe pitch or sell space to a brand. And now you can have a branded message out there. So now your brand that you're partnering with will see their messaging in the store, in the digital signs, and also at the kiosk in the front tablet as well.
Correct, that's true.
So now you could generate revenue to help pay for the system.
Correct.
Which lowers your marketing cost even more.
Correct.
That's
and also for the CPGs are very good because they are also promoting a special products package for them when they are at the store.
And the CPGs normally have marketing dollars that they could invest.
Correct.
And this would be an opportunity for you to use them to get those marketing dollars and come up with that. That's really unique. So let's talk about some more of the ecosystem. Remember, what we're talking about here is a complete ecosystem where you are engaging the shopper more or less 24/7 in different parts of their life.
Correct.
Right? So the other thing that Shopper Direct does is you have this LED window display program where you can actually put the signage outside. So before the consumer even gets into the store, they see the specials of that week, or that's changed, and this is all controlled by, you have a control center.
Correct.
That your team controls everything. So you're controlling all the messaging based on what the weekly deals are, right?
Yes, correct. So every week they are changing, updating pricing, services. So it's very good exposure for the shopper so they can understand and see, oh, what do you have, or what new services they have. Yeah.
So now in this case, before I even get out of my car, as I'm driving by the store, I got the weekly ad, but now I'm getting a reinforced message because I see the limes in the weekly ad were 10 for $1, but then as I get closer to the store, I see a big sign outside that says limes 10 for $1. So now I'm getting more, I'm recognizing more of that special, and as I walk in the store, I make that purchase. So that's pretty unique.
And you know what? At nice are very special because the brightness of the LEDs are very good.
Yeah, and I did visit one of the locations that you service at night. I did a couple in the day and one at night, and you can't miss them. I mean, you
can't miss them. That's right.
It really drives that. And what I like about that too is if you were to print a poster to do these specials, you would have to print posters every single week. In this case, your team is making the change immediately, and you can rotate that sign not only weekly, but if someone had a special they couldn't sell out of something, you can actually do something same day and push it out and get it out there. So that's pretty exciting.
That's very good. I like it too because they call a lot of the attention to the shoppers.
Yeah, exactly right. So another part of the ecosystem that you have developed here is the in-store radio system. Now, this is really unique, and not a lot of companies are doing this. And I go back to remembering when they had that music system or something like that. And I think they might have been here in Florida too, I'm not sure. But this in-store radio system is pretty unique because you actually have this playlist that you create, which is great because now you could set the mood with the music, whether you want to do Latin music or if you want to do pop, whatever it is, you build the playlist based on the community. And what's great about this is now you could add messaging, targeted promotional messaging inside of that. So I know a couple independents that actually sit at a mic like this and they record a message and they pump it through the store, which is great. I guess that's okay. Right. But that's very old school. Now you have the technology where you can set this up and do promotional messaging, and you tie this into the digital signage. So now you have a complete messaging going out. So let's say if you did sell it to Ken's Potato Chips, as an example, I would buy a in-store radio ad, I would buy a signage display ad, and I would buy an ad for the front end LED, or maybe even at the register,
At the register with
the
kiosk.
loyalty program. So now I have that brand recognition all the way through the store, and you're helping that brand grow in recognition, which is pretty unique.
Different talks from different aspects at the store.
And then these messages also not only do they have to be sales messages, but I heard the store is closing, when the store is opening.
Very important.
I heard informational type stuff, so you can actually do PSA type things, and so it's a real full functioning radio system.
And there are some stores that they are bilingual people, so the message could be in English or could be in Spanish or even Creole.
Right.
So so we have those kind of scenarios because different communities. So the idea is to bring the message right there with the people, so they feel they're connected. You see.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but the people are shopping, they are busy, but they are listening.
Yeah. Well, you do listen, and you might not, it's like having the TV on when you're doing something, or something piques your interest.
Exactly.
And now you're involved. And again, this part of the program, and I keep saying ecosystem that you coined it, because again, this is all done by your team through a control system where you basically, you don't have to have a separate team to do radio. You don't have to have a separate team to do marketing. Your company and your team does it all.
And everything is connected. All the promotions, the manager or the owner of the supermarket, they know everything, so they provide us and we connect everything.
Yes. All right. Let's continue. There's another piece of the system here which I thought is pretty cool, and this is really becoming more engaging and very strong. You have a pretty good, strong case with the recent holiday with one retailer where you have a self-order kiosk. And this is basically a kiosk, again, with messaging on it. So you can do all the messaging we're talking about, but now it eliminates the customers lining up or backing up in a line, so they can go to this kiosk and order something as they shop. Correct. Or place a pre-order for a holiday meal or something like that. And what it does is it makes that connection, because now remember, you're also getting that data from that customer.
Correct.
Which is important, because now you can take that data and personalize it, which is really valuable. And that was one of the key tips, is that personalization. Correct. And you could bring them into the loyalty program. So in this case, you could do real-time promotions. You can order a deli, you could order meals, whatever it is, you can set it up. And what I see from the system, this is agnostic, meaning you don't have to necessarily be tied into any system, right?
Correct.
You do all this independent if you have to.
Exactly. You can do independent. So if you want to integrate with your POS, could be easy. But you mentioned something very important, because with the Shopper Direct food kiosk, they have all the services included.
Right.
So they have the loyalty, because you had to sign in. You're going to be part of the system.
Right.
You're going to make points with your purchase. They're going to see the different products. Yeah. They can pay with credit card, with debit card, with any payment systems, easy for them.
Yeah.
But the good things with this one is not like I made the order and I receive also a text with my confirmation.
Yeah, instant, right.
Instantly. So I already, okay, I know my order, but I can configure in the system, or when I'm gonna place the order, so I'm gonna pick it up, let's say next week, Monday.
Yeah.
So you can put everything there, and the system will let you know that your order is ready for pickup. So you go to the store. But one of the good things is like when you place the order, they go directly to the kitchen, and the kitchen has all the details about the orders, and the system can configure or manage for the kitchen. Okay, how many turkey do we have? How many hams do we have to cook in order to be ready for the orders?
And that's really good. And that whole labor piece could be very valuable, because now you're getting efficiencies. So if that system is working and it's telling my back end what I need to do, now you're getting efficiencies with the system. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's true. They help a lot in organization for the supermarket, because let's say me as a customer, so I can process all my order with my needs. I have all my time with the kiosk, seeing the products, the description, the pictures. They have a very nice picture, the real pictures, so they can see, okay, maybe I did want this, so I want to remove this one. But the kitchen, or in the back order, you see all the orders in a good manner,
right? There's a dashboard, a menu board that's coming out. And
correct.
That's great. And I know this is too early to tell. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about it just yet, because you're still getting the data. But you had a very successful launch in one independent with this, that you're seeing in early data telling you that there could have been an increase of almost 20% in what they were doing. So that's pretty phenomenal. If I can increase my business 20% and reduce my labor costs to produce that business, then I'm saving money on the reduction of labor costs, and I'm increasing revenue, which is pretty good.
True. And one of the important things that I like to highlight is with the Shopper Direct, we have the system, but based on their needs, we can customize some stores. So that's why the system, the Shopper Direct Food Kiosk, is very flexible.
Yeah, and that's what I like when we talked about this, because you can, I mean, you connect with all the major POSs. So you can connect with the POS, you can integrate with the POS, which takes, some time and effort, but you can also do things independent of a POS system. So you don't have to make a huge investment in integration. You can work with you to come up with the program. So I thought that was pretty unique.
You are right. And Ken, there is something very interesting. With the Shopper Direct Food Kiosk, you are at the store with the kiosk.
Yeah.
But if you want to go online with your website, doing e-commerce to placing the orders with the same thing, you can do it.
You can do it as well. That's pretty good. So a lot of independents don't have an e-commerce. Imagine if you just had an e-commerce just for your deli section, or for your hot food section. Listen, you might be able to generate $10,000 a month in extra revenue that you didn't have before, which is pretty cool, and compete with all those other delivery services.
And this is convenience for the shopper. So they can go at the kiosk, they can order online, they can just go on to pick it up. So
and everybody's expect this. I mean, I was in a Chick-fil-A the other day, and they forced me to use the kiosk, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, right. So I guess that's basically it. So let's continue talking more about the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another thing that you do that you offer as part of the entire integrated system is you have the connection and the relationship with standing up OTC integration and the healthy benefits.
The healthy benefits, correct.
Which is a valuable piece of sales. I guess connectivity for an independent, because a lot of people, especially here in the Florida market, a lot of people depend on that and use that. So you can gain that revenue, and I know that revenue could be anywhere from 5 to 10% of your total revenue. So if I have a healthy benefits card, I can use it at your store.
Exactly, and it's the people they have the card and they want to use it. So. And they are part of the community with the supermarket, so they want to use it. So the idea is for us to provide that service to accept those cards in your store.
And you could work with one store, or you can work with 20 stores.
Yeah, 20 stores, that's all.
And so it doesn't matter. And that's important because you're looking for a good reason to bring the customer into the store. And this could be a good reason. If I know I can use my healthy benefits card at Ken's grocery store, I might go there instead of the big chain, let's say.
Correct. Right? That's very important.
Yes.
Because I know that they can accept my card.
Yeah.
Because if they don't use it, they lose it.
They lose it, right? Exactly right. So that's great revenue to bring in. Okay, so the other thing that you have is when we talk about the unification of data, this is where it all becomes magical for me, because I love the analytics of things. So now you're collecting this data. You're collecting data through the loyalty signups at the register. You're collecting data through the open rates on the text messages. You're collecting data from the kiosk, and now you're able to take that data and create some intelligence from it. And you have a whole business intelligence module that helps you create the personalization. Because if I know Juan Carlos better than anybody else, then you're going to work with me. You're going to fall in love with me, and you're going to become my favorite shopper.
Correct.
And that's really important. And the way you break it down is pretty unique, because you sort of have 3 pillars on this. You have in-store performance. So you're looking at how the shopper or how the inventory performs at the store level. You're looking at the profile of the customer. So you're able to create an intelligent customer profile. And then you have that data, and now you can upsell and create assortment analytics. Yes. And then when you talk about the branding, and this is really important, especially for an independent retailer, because now, the big chains have all these data scientists, right? And they have all this data.
Yeah, right.
But now if you're an independent and you're trying to get more brand dollars from brand X, well, they're going to want to see some data.
Correct.
So this is going to give you business intelligence. So now you can not only sell the marketing and sell the signage and all that, but now you have the data behind all those actions. So you can see how much did Professor Ken's potato chips sell, and you can see that value for the dollar.
And you can also, because at the end, let's say that, for example, that you put with 23,000 shoppers, but you can categorize based on the behavior for the shopping.
Yeah.
And based on that, you can create different campaigns for this one, for that one, for different groups. So because you already have the data, you can start analyzing the data, understanding the data, and creating a special campaign for that.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the business intelligence, because for the owners, for the managers, they know how they need to be more focused in order to increase sales.
Yeah, and marketing, and I go back to marketing, all these, it's a combination of art and science. The art is all this creative stuff we're talking about, and the science is the analytics, because you can't get better unless you're measuring things.
Correct.
And without that business intelligence, it's really important. So I think all this data is important. Plus, that's what we need. We need personalization. We need that data so that we can be more local with the community, because now I know you better than the larger competitor or someone.com, let's say, right?
That's true. And also for today's market, it's very important not only to analyze what's going on today or this week or this month. No, it's also analyzing, comparing the data with days before, with months before, with year before.
Yeah.
Because that's why the data is a big ecosystem.
Yes,
data.
That's right.
In order to analyze, to get data, go deeper, because maybe the data, I want to compare this holiday season with the last year holiday season, maybe to understand if I need more people or not, because they help with many things in order to make decisions for the business.
And how do you know if you're getting better unless you're measuring?
Exactly.
Something?
That's very important. And if you don't have, let's say you have the data, but if you lose the data, it's very hard.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's better to keep it, to start thinking like at the beginning when you start talking about the big corporations as an independent with this technology. Affordable. Also very, very easy and understandable. And you know what, Ken? With the business intelligence, we are creating like a chat bot. Like you can start asking questions with your regular question, like for your business.
And it'll help you analyze it.
Exactly, everything. So they're gonna go directly to the databases. They move all the stuff with the AI, and they're gonna bring you all the data right there.
And this is where it's exciting too, Juan Carlos, because your team does all of this, can help do all of this. So you don't have everything we're talking about. If you were an independent grocer, you have limited resources.
That's true.
You can't hire a business intelligence analyst. Well, maybe you can, but you need a business intelligence analyst. You need someone in the art department, the creative department, and all these things. Plus, you also do all the outreach stuff, all the marketing. So you have a social media component that you could offer as well. You would need 5 or 6 team members to do everything that your company and your team is doing for an independent grocer, which is pretty cool.
Correct. And if they want to hire people, it's going to be too expensive. But for us, it's like we're going to be focused just to bring the best solution for them. And in the volume, we can have a very great price.
And that's the key, because you have all this experience already doing it. You really know what works and what's not working.
And what is good for them, because the idea is to be partnered. It's more like, it's not like a product that you buy and that's it. It's much more relationship in order to grow the business, and feedback back and forth in order to have the business.
And that's a valuable service. So that's valuable. So let's take a look at, and the idea here is that we now spoke about this whole full shopper engagement ecosystem. So all these tools combined. So now you're able to reach mobile, in-store, the front of the window, right? The checkout, the at-home, the outside store. You even have the beacon type technology where if you could geo-target someone that's by the store and you could send them messaging for the store. So now you're really engaged with that shopper 24/7, whether they're in the store, near the store, or even at home.
Exactly.
Which is really great.
Like a live store. I'm here 24/7 for you.
Yeah, that's right, and it's all at a lower threshold of investment and cost, which is great. Okay, so let's talk about now. Here's how you get involved if you're interested. And I've seen the product. I've worked with them on a couple of projects. They're really phenomenal. So if you need the scheduled demo, you can go ahead and just reach us, send you an email or send out, and we'll set a whole demo up, and you'll go through the whole process with.
We can go to the store. We can make an online video presentation. We can listen what are their needs, what is the PBX, the POS system,
Right.
for the integration. We can work we are very flexible to work with you.
So, all right. So here's the big question. I mean, we don't have to share numbers or costs or anything like that, but I'm an independent grocer. Do I need to get everything? And is this going to cost me, a ton of money? Or what's your perspective on that?
No, that's one of the focus for Chopper today is like we are tailor-made for the supermarket, for the independent. So we can start basically, if they want to start just with the loyalty, we can start with that. Or if they want to do it like a radio or LEDs or digital signage, or because at the end, everything is connected. And if they want to be ready or they are ready for the business intelligence, boom, we jump to the business intelligence because we already have the data.
Right.
It's something like it's a journey in order to be with the digital transformation for the supermarket and be ready for the market.
Right.
For the competition, for their shoppers, for everything, and also for their business.
Yeah, and I know that you were telling me you have some partners already that have everything, but some partners have a piece here and a piece there.
Yes,
but as they learn more about it, they do want to get to that whole ecosystem because now they're fully competitive with anybody in the marketplace.
That's true. That's correct. And the idea is for the owners is to have the data right there.
Yeah.
And to see and activate options, and they see the good results for the business.
Yeah, and that's really important. Remember that without knowing the results, without knowing that measurement, you don't know. I mean, you could see if you have money in your pocket, you could say you're successful, but what is the cost of generating that revenue? And then how do you keep that customer coming back? That's the challenge we're up against today, especially if you're an independent, because you've got the Amazons of the world are doing so much more than what we're talking about. And this is going to give you something to compete with that I think at an entry level is phenomenal. And you use AI during this process as well.
Correct.
So wonderful. Well, Juan Carlos, thank you so much for giving us some time today and talking with everyone about this. I think it's exciting because you're offering something that is needed out in the industry. And
thank you. Thank you, Ken, for this webinar. So I think it's very important, very good information. But I just want to let the independents know the most important is the data.
Yeah.
The customer's data is the goal for the supermarket. So that's why we started with the kiosks, collect the data, and we can start moving forward.
Yeah, and with that data, you could do so much more because you become smarter, right? And every time you're smarter, it's better because now you become a better investor, a better marketer, a better retailer, and all that. So
and that helps you to open a new store.
Yeah,
which is a very successful store. That's the most important.
That's the most important. Well, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you found this fun and educational. And thanks for joining. So I'll see you out there.
Thank you.